What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, from majorsacademy.com out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. There we go. And this is Thirsty Thursdays, episode 190. And yeah, we've been here for 190 shows, coming up on 200. Hopefully we have a special guest for our 200th show. That would be nice. All right, so let's get started, man. Hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday. You know what I mean? I have been hearing about if anybody knows who Zach George is, he's a famous dog trainer, positive only dog trainer. And, boy, I think I may have started some stuff with him. He posted he made a post on Facebook that was talking about how he didn't agree with the use of training tools. One being, adversives. That includes prong collars, e-collars, etc. And then he pointed to science, and then I'm like, I left a comment and I said, "There's really no point in even posting this, because I thought it was his attempt to troll, because he's looking for attention." So I'm like, "There's really no point, because no one can point to true scientific studies at all about what actually affects the dog negatively long term, what kind of training does." So that's his claim. His claim is the training that I would do would affect dogs in a negative way long term. And so I won't get too much into it, but follow it, because there's some really good information, and there's some really good trainers. There's another really good trainer named Ivan. I don't know, I'm going to butcher his last name, but it's Balbanov. If you guys get a chance, look him up. He made a really detailed video about explaining about all the studies when it comes to adversive tools and punishment and all that when it comes to dog training. And so I encourage everyone to check it out. It's good information, and it's just going to help further educate everyone about tools. In the dog training world, there's a big controversy between what we would call positive only people, which just mean the people that believe in treats and that as a means to train the dog, and they also believe in no punishment at all. Hey Pat, how are you? Hello Mary Ellen. So anyway, you guys check that out. It's a really good thing to, like I say, observe and check out, and you'll learn a lot. All right. So anyway, those of you who are watching, feel free to ask questions. This is a dog training, dog behavior Q&A. You can ask as many questions as you like. And hi, Amy. And hey, Kristen. How are you guys? Kind of jumped on a little late here, but nonetheless, we are here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, God, we might as well talk about separation anxiety, since I've had 2 calls with dogs that have had some serious separation anxiety. And guys, what has to stop happening, though, is we can't be in denial of who our dogs are. We cannot. Everyone says, that, what we can't do is make excuses for them. So I had a potential person call me, said that the dog had severe separation anxiety, was breaking out of the house. And so I start to ask questions, because one thing that I do is I try to find similarities. If I found similarities in dogs that I have trained in your dog, then it just gives me confidence that I can improve your dog. So that's why I ask a lot of questions. And here's some of the questions that I ask. So again, a person calls me for separation anxiety, and they want. Okay, so then I'm going to start going into some questions. All right, and let's just say the first question to me is, does the dog follow you around the house? And yes, every single dog that has separation anxiety will probably follow you around the house. And then my next question is, does the dog jump on people? And yes, in this case, and again, most dogs do, this dog jumped. Does the dog become reactive on leash? Yes. Does the dog bark inside the house when you guys are home and you can't control it? Yes. And then, you know, again, me finding out those questions gives me confidence that I can help. Because when I say when people say they tried to crate train their dog and he broke out, then you didn't try to crate train the dog. You just threw the dog in the crate and left. So there was no trying there, because crate training is actually staying home and putting your dog in the crate. Then you can train the dog in the crate. But when you try and crate train your dog, it's not about throwing the dog in the crate and leaving. Yeah, then the dog will break out. So first and foremost, with separation anxiety, y'all, okay, again, take into account all those behaviors that I had mentioned. But also know this: we'll give dogs the benefit of the doubt in this situation, that it's not natural for them to be away from their pack. So when you leave, we have to teach them how to be okay being away from their pack. So, so when you come home, how does the dog? That's another big question I ask. When you come home from being gone, what's the dog doing? Oh, absolutely going nuts, bonkers, jumping, and then and that. How's the dog with children? Dog nips children, tries to hurt it. So again, there's a lot that we can work on. There's a lot that that we can improve. And again, when I hear similarities, again, it just really makes me confident that we got a lot of things to work on. And private lessons aren't necessarily the best when it comes to those sort of issues. So, all right. Oh, I thought you forgot. Thank you. Okay. All right, we got a question coming in. And again, guys who just joined in, feel free to ask as many questions as you like. You're not subject to just one, and no question is a dumb question. Know that your question will help others with similar issues. All right. Okay, let's get to it. I'm working on the training. Should a dog be crated daily when I am home? If so, how long each time? Great question. So yeah, the dog should be crated daily, and I think, you know, if your dog definitely like naps, it can nap in the crate just like a baby. So after, the best time to train a dog for sure in the crate would be after some exercise. So you could take your dog on a nice long walk, and then make sure peed, poop, watered, fed, and all that, and then let them rest in the crate. And also, you know, here's my rules around the crate. The crate is a place of peace and quiet. So I don't necessarily allow whining, standing, barking, obviously, and I also don't allow the dog to rush out of the crate when I open the door. So so all those things really help the dog become calm in that place, because it's not something he just can't wait to get out of. Yes, they're always eager to get out, but they're not bursting out because of anxiety, being anxiety driven, wanting to come out. You know what I'm saying? So for how long? Again, as long as you want. I mean, obviously not, more, an hour's fine. They can nap and chill for an hour. Do I need to be in the same room the whole time? No. Just listen, check on them. Don't talk to them positively, in that crate. Reason being, you don't want to get them, again, you don't want to get them excited about being in the crate. So directives only, really. But don't give them treats in the crate too, because treats create that energy as well. That energetic dog. All right. Appreciate your question, Pat. Yeah, feel free to ask another. Okay. Next question is from Margie. Margie says, my 1.5-year-old dog rescue guards our personal items. He tries to bite us if we try to retrieve him. We have to keep a shock collar on him to ensure he leaves the item alone when we tell him to leave it. How do you rehabilitate him? Well, that's a respect issue. And, you do want to have that sort of understanding between you and your dog that you can take anything away from them at any time. Especially, if it's something that will harm them. So you always want to be able to have that understanding. Now, you might have to be more parent-like, for lack of a better term, more tough love in other areas, aside from the resource aggression. Be tougher on them in other areas, then they're less likely to be resource aggressive, because a resource aggressive dog just says, I want this and I can have it, and you can't, so leave me alone. It's kind of like, but the attitude comes from a very pretentious place. It's like a kid keeping, something that you want, and he says, no, I can have it. And if you come near me, I'm going to hit you. So it's a respect issue. And again, look to get respect in other areas besides the resource aggression, to help it. Because when dogs come here for resource aggression, rarely do I have to address it head on, because I walk the dog the way that I do, because I make sure the dog comes when I tell him to come, make sure the dog goes in the crate every time I tell the dog to go in the crate, every time I tell the dog to wait at doors. All those things add up in a dog's attitude that says, I can kind of do this because I'm above you. At least that's what he thinks. So it's more so about, to really get long lasting results, to really rehabilitate. You shouldn't necessarily have to use a shock collar. If we're really concentrating on the dog holistic attitude of, kind of, I can do this and get away with it, So I appreciate the question, Margie. Feel free to ask more or elaborate, and I can give you even more of a detailed answer. Okay. Jason says, hey, Jeremy, thanks for having Lindsay on last week. She has been very helpful. Yeah, man, she's great. 100%. I'm glad you reached out. All right, next question. Just want to let you know we had a pack walk and a few fosters were blown away by your training process. We all had a great conversation in the 1.25 miles we do. It was the fetch training. Good, man. That's great. I'm glad my training is received well, and it can help out people. It really does. It's what I'm here for, man. I'm really here to help the chaos just dwindle. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are living like they are living their day-to-day life trapped. The dog runs the show, and people can't go anywhere. Lady I spoke to today on the phone, the dog got kicked out of every grooming place it ever been. There's just some hard dogs out there, and so people don't need to be so hard on themselves either. You know, there's some tricky ones out there. They're pushy. My best advice, though, guys, would be, and even sometimes when you do your research, doesn't help, but pick the dog you want that will gel with your lifestyle. You know, if you shouldn't just pick a dog based on how cute they are. You should really do your homework. I mean, if you want more of a laid back dog, don't get a working breed, a herding breed, a terrier. Get a companion dog. There's books out there that have a whole list of dogs under companion dog. If you're a little bit more adventurous, then get a little bit more of get an energetic dog. If you are a hunter, get a hunting dog. But to have, a dog that is designed to do something and them not ever get a chance to do it, that's sad. I was talking to this one person who had a Wheaten Terrier and a family, and I'm like, how's that? Wheaten Terriers can be tough dogs. Wheaten Terriers are tough. Anything with a terrier in it, don't be surprised if they would love to catch a rat or something. Their prey drive is just crazy. All right, you guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask any questions you like. I'm here until I'll go a little bit past 8. Well, shit, last time I was here until almost 9. So I hopped on here a little late today, 7:12, but so at 8 o'clock I'll probably be done. But you guys feel free to ask any questions you like. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep talking. Puppies, man. Puppies. Wow. Guys, get your dog trained before it's too late. Get your dog trained before it is too late. Don't wait until 5 years old to get the dog trained. Goodness gracious. No trainer should have to deal with a dog that was allowed to be a butthole for 5 years. Because we're going to have to really do some, a 5-year-old dog is an adult dog at that point. And they're probably at the peak of their stubbornness. Maybe they get more stubborn as they get older. But at 5, they're saying, we figured this out. You're welcome, Kristen. Yeah. 5 years is a long time. Even just a year is too long, guys. I think so. Because when that round 10 months, all those German Shepherds, all those, it doesn't mean not just German Shepherds, but mostly I'm just talking about my experience. All those German Shepherds that when someone approached them or someone wanted to pet them, so most dogs go through all of that puppyhood, that first year, And because they're not going to be aggressive, because most puppies are not aggressive, you're letting people touch them and they don't want to be touched. You're letting other dogs come up to them and they don't necessarily want that. You're letting all these things happen way too soon. Now when that dog gets 10 months, the dog is bigger, and now people are acting a little hesitant, a little different around me now. Now I look at you and you kind of pause a little bit. You don't just come in crashing in. I'm not a puppy anymore. So that dog knows now I can manipulate you. Like you respect that now. And now I'm going to tell you I don't want you to come up to me. And then if you don't hear me, then I'm going to make you feel why you don't want to come up, or how I don't want you to come up to me, and I'm going to bite you. So guys, when you're having your puppy raising, it's not about having the dog meet 100 people. It's not even about socialization. You don't even have to have a dog meet other people to have a social dog. You don't even have to have your dog really meet other dogs to be a social dog. And I know that doesn't make sense right now, right off the rip. You're like, how else do you do it? Hold on. I'm going to tell you. All right, after I sip this Modelo. Okay. So, what if I told you it's more about how the dog acts at home with you? Just you. The dog is going to treat the world the way that it's treated, or it's allowed to treat you at home. Oh, let me re-say that because it made me. The dog is going to treat the world the way the dog treats you at home. What I mean by that is you can get the dog to respect the world if you can garner respect from your dog. There is a point where your dog does become annoying to not only you, but to people who you bring into the house. Your dog's going to annoy them. Don't let your dog be annoying, because then other people won't want to watch him. Other people probably can't watch him. And they don't want to come over. Your friends and family don't want to come over because you let this dog be disrespectful. You let this dog treat you and your family like they can do whatever it wants. But when it goes out into the world and it has that attitude, that's when real bad stuff happens. That's when real bad stuff happens. So you got to prepare your dog. This is what raising a dog is all about. It's not just there to keep you warm at night. You got something that can learn. You got something that has to deal with the world. So why not prepare the dog to deal with the world? That's how we do right by them. That's how we do right by the dogs. This is successful dog raising. Your dog just is content with the world and what it can bring and all the stuff it can bring. Strangers, dogs, loud trucks, loud noises, just things you would want to do with your dog. Not just want to do, but things, again, that's going to happen. Okay with the vet, okay with the groomer. If you've got a good dog, then people want to deal with your dog then. But the people who don't like dogs have experienced a dog that has been a butthole. So for successful dog raising is trying to get them to be okay with what the world brings. That way you can have family over and they can enjoy the dog. And you can have friends over and they can enjoy the dog. Unless you want the dog all to yourself, because I start to question that's the motive of most people, of not most people, but some people. You want that love all to yourself. And you kind of like that the dog is overprotective of you. You kind of like the dog follows you around. You kind of like maybe that the dog is sassy. But it's only going to be you and the dog then. And nobody else can enjoy it. Or, and this is a little bit more serious, but some people are afraid of their dog. And that's a not a good way to live, guys. But I'm not saying you can't have respect for a dog. You should. There are horrible things that happen. Dogs still act like wolves, guys. Dogs still do wolf things. This ain't a just love me kind of situation. There was a dog walker that got, ended up getting attacked by the dogs she was walking. She was a dog walker, so she was walking 8+ dogs, and something happened. Fight broke out, and they ended up turning on the walker, and the walker did not live. These are dogs that they were walking, no special needs dogs or anything like that. Now I'm not, now there's dogs out there that will never bite and this and that, but that was sort of a mob mentality situation. But again, people just need to realize that, hey, we need to have a healthy respect for what they're capable of, but at the same time, it still is a relationship that should be both give and take, not just take. Most people's dog out here just taking. People also need to be on the same page. If you've got other folks in the house, they've got to be able to also hold boundaries or maintain boundaries set. Those are the most successful. So then so if they can guarantee, this is the only guarantee that I give. If everyone in the house can guarantee that you guys can maintain boundaries that are set, then I can guarantee that your dog will be successful. That's the only way. Because behavior is like water, man. It's just going to shape to the environment. It's going to get in where it fits in. And those boundaries have got to be there. It's common sense. I mean, it really is at the end of the day. But the hard part is being consistent. And I know it ain't easy. Not easy. My dogs are not perfect. Don't get it twisted. But they come when I ask them to. anytime, all the time. And they're quiet. And they're just very, very social with other dogs. They're good. All right, guys, those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask a question. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Ask as many questions as you like. I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes, and I can certainly talk for another 15 minutes. You know, I used to be a social recluse in high school. I really was a quiet person, man. I always I let my sports do the talking for me. That's what got me respect. But I never used to be a talker, but now I can't shut up. Ask my wife. What else you want to talk about? Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think there has been a dog that has tried to break out of a crate with me in a very long time. I'm talking years. I have found a way. I'm not telling. I have found a way, unless you work with me, of course, I'll tell you. But I found a way to get them calm and quiet in the crate from the first day they come. I should mention I do walk them quite a bit before I put them in said crate. But yeah, I found a way to keep dogs. Like if you come over and see my crates, they're not all bent up and out of shape. They look like they were when I bought them, except for a little rust here and there, but no bends, no breaks. And I probably train. How many dogs do I train a year? Well, at the very least, I train 3 dogs per month, so it's 36 dogs for sure. But every now and then I'll have to keep an old dog, a past client for a few days, and some people I do let board. But that's also not counting the private lessons. So I have a lot of those as well. But so 36 different dogs a year. Excuse me. Sorry. 36 dogs a year at the least. And all of them have some form of separation anxiety. And yeah, I bring them in. I take them on a big long walk. I put them right back in. I let them go to the bathroom. Then I put them in their crate and I start to organize their things, their food, maybe their medication and that. And I just watch them. I don't allow the dog to stand up. He has to sit. And he will exhaust himself, or he will the fatigue from the walk will catch up with them, and they all just relax after 2 or 3 times of me. I usually like to walk out of the room and walk back into the room to really, again, not just because I need to go get something, but because I want to promote the anxiety so that I can fix it. And if you leave the room, chances are the dog's going to go into their anxiety. So, yeah, I spend a lot of time going in and out, doing things, shuffling around. I want the dog to just get used to me doing all those things. So um, so that they can sleep well, I can sleep well, and they're not stressed out. One of the things that I like that I do that I really like is with my board and train, you get free private lessons before and after. And I've had clients come from Nebraska, New York, Florida. What's one was my farthest? Georgia? No, Florida would be my farthest. Nebraska is about 12 hours too. But what was the point of me bringing that up? The distance. I don't remember. But so anyway, I guess I get clients all the way from wherever. The ones that obviously come from anywhere besides Wisconsin and Chicago and Michigan and Minnesota. They also kind of go from word of mouth, but anything outside of that, they find me on social media. So, and that's kind of cool, right? I mean, I ask those people coming from all those places. I'm like, you couldn't find a trainer between here and there? I mean, between Nebraska and Green Bay? But I think it maybe has to do with I don't know. I don't know why they picked me. But I'm glad they did. So all right, y'all. Well, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I did a seminar in Madison a couple weeks back, and I love doing those seminars for rescues. I'm going to do more as my children get a little older. I'm going to hit the road and do some seminars around the country. I'm not going to do that now. My children are a little young yet, but I plan on working with a lot more trainers, learning from them learning from me, and putting on some awesome seminars, man. I think it makes some good change. There's people who come to my seminars that have no knowledge about e-collars and prong collars, and I really appreciate those who came out just to see that. I could tell who they are right away by the looks they give me. But I want to shed light, and I'll demonstrate it right there, and that's the science experiment. I mean, we want science experiments. Come see how I train. Come see how I can just flip a dog's mind right around with just a little bit of work, just a little bit of have to. You know what I'm saying? Come with me. Let me show you this. You got to get past the dog's point of impatience over and over again to show the dog that it doesn't work. Your fits aren't going to work. Using your teeth isn't going to work. Jumping isn't going to work. Stopping isn't going to work. None of your protests, because it's reasonable that you do normal things that other dogs do. That's why we're pushing you to just take a walk. Some people can't even walk their dog. But again, once you push past the dog thinking, I can get this to stop if I'm stubborn enough, then you really start to see magic, man. You really do. You start to see clarity. You start to see calmness. And that's what's like so you're going to really enjoy your dog a lot more. And the dog's even going to enjoy life a lot more. There's so many dogs on medication. If you have a fearful dog, if you have a dog who is under 1 year old and he is fearful of things, guys, don't deal with that. Find a trainer. Or if you've bought the dog, take the dog back unless you're really in love with this damn dog. But don't start with a problem. You get a dog, and these are for people who are shopping for dogs. You get a dog, and this dog is already growling, already scared, already backing away, scared of life. No, get that dog back. Give that dog back. Because, man, that fear can turn into some big time aggression. I got a 1 year old Cataloo, a leopard dog. And just freaked out about everything. Man, dog pissed on the place command when I was putting the dog on the place command. Dog pissed. So for the first year, this dog was asked to do everything. But now I have got to say, you got to do this. And again, the longer you wait, the harder it is on the dog. Because it's convinced. The longer it goes with that convincing mind that I'm going to stay in comfort. I'm not going to do anything that scares me. And I can make this stop. And I can make these people go away. And I can make this dog go away. And I can make this happen and this happen and this happen. If a dog stays in that mindset for years and years, again, the training is going to be tough because of how long the dog was allowed to stay in that fearful, insecure, stubborn, pushy mindset. So it's important, guys. If even your rescue folks, you want to rescue a dog, okay, be prepared because you know nothing about this dog. Be prepared to spend some money on some behavior modification. All right. Rant, or what did I end rant? Rant ended. All right. Connie says, why does my dog nip at the pants leg of only men? Small dog, 20 pounds. Because it wants men to go away. It doesn't want men around. Men are bigger in general. Men have deeper voices in general. And men are more likely to be standoffish or confrontational. A lot of dogs have that issue. Doesn't mean it was abused by a man. How can we stop it? Well, the dog has to learn what no means. But more importantly, the dog has got to just be more humble. It has to. It has to. Uh, have a healthy respect for what you want, and not just what it wants. Oh, it's just being selfish at the moment. Dog says, I don't care what my owner wants. I want this man away. Don't care what you say. It's about what I want. Well, I think the dog has to start caring about what you want. I wouldn't pet it as much when it does something that you don't like. What's the consequence for this dog after it nips? What do you do? Because the dog does have to take you into consideration, and it should. It's healthy for the dog to take you into consideration. So I do know that your dog would be more likely to be curious and humble if it wasn't so comfortable being spoiled. So your dog's basically saying, I get what I want, all my love from this person, and this person, and maybe this person, or whatever, and nobody else is allowed. So when people come over, here's a couple rules, and this is not knowing how your situation specifically, but if it's 20 pounds, usually disabling, and try to show that there is no reason to be scared. He ain't scared. Dog's not necessarily, well, okay, maybe scared. But your dog can show fear just by leaving, avoiding, and not being an assertive. Your dog ain't necessarily that scared either, right? Dogs that bite, especially going up to someone and biting, is not scared because they're going up. A true scared dog is not even going to go up. They're going to hide. And then maybe if you try and grab them while they're in the corner, then they may bite you. But a dog that's all scared, not coming up to you and biting you. So there's a drive that says, this is my territory and I do what I want. And I'm going to make you do what I want. That's more so the mindset of the dog that bites only men. So just keep that in mind. I don't want you to say that it's scared, because then you make excuses for the dog as to not give the proper consequence. Doesn't matter if the dog is scared, not scared, or whatever. The dog should still listen to you when you say no before it stops. I mean, before it even goes over there, right? So if a man was to walk through your door and your dog go up, you should be able to say no, and the dog stop in its tracks, or go lay down, or something like that. But he's so comfortable in his own space that he goes, I'll go try and manipulate this space in the way that I want to. Interesting. My other dog will go upstairs and lay on the bed when too many people come over. See, that's an option for that 20-pound dog too. You know what I mean? That's a great option. That would be the option of a dog who is a little more humble and just doesn't want to deal with it, and truly knows that there's another way out. But your dog says, this is my territory. Everything is mine. So, all right. Next question. My dog will literally steal food out of your hand or off your plate as you're walking. Okay. Well, I mean, you're going to have to teach that dog how to respect you. That is like one of the most disrespectful things you can do. You're going to have to give the dog a consequence to think twice about it. Yeah, your dog's going to have to learn what no means. And go lay down. Mind your business. But you can do that without food. Does the dog jump on you? Because I'm pretty sure a dog coming up to you, stealing the food out of your hand, probably jumps. Does the dog pull on walks? Probably. Does the dog listen to you in general? Those are the things you want to ask yourself, because it's my husband's dog. He does it to me and the kids. He will lay down when told, when cooking, or out of the kitchen. Gotcha. Okay, so wait a minute. He does it to me and the kids. He will lay down when told, when cooking, or out of the kitchen. So if he does those things, if you tell him to lay down and he does it, then you should have no problem. And yeah, if he actually does listen, he will lay down when told, when cooking. What's the problem? Or out of the kitchen. What's the problem? So either he doesn't or he does. That seems to be contradicting. He's fast and sneaky. Well, you got to anticipate it then. Be proactive. Then okay. Well, that means you must work on the stay command and tell him before you start walking, because you know he can hear you. So here's what you can do. You can take the food from the kitchen, and before you start walking, stay, so he hears you. And if he listens the way you say he does, he shouldn't get up. Patrick says, how do you stop a alligator from hurting, chasing the kids? This is the only problem we've had with this one. I'm just going to have to come over, man. I've been so dang busy. But I'm going to have to come over and see what's up. These guys are like my neighbors, so yeah, I don't know. I have to check them out. Check them out and see what's up. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. It's 8:09, so pretty close to when I got on an hour ago. Let's do it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe, or do whatever you like to do. We'll be here next Thursday. Come with your questions. I appreciate all your help. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. He's going to be good. All right, guys, we'll be out of here. We'll see you next week.